Good morning, everyone. This is Miss Nadine, and today we are going to continue Unit 10, Lesson 1, Immigration. Our lesson objectives for today are: fill out chart with character traits, fill out a chart with plot elements, and interpret theme-based bar chart. Illegal immigration, crossing the line border stories. Fill out the chart below with one trait for each character, along with the supporting evidence. As explained earlier, characterization is the process by which a writer reveals the personality of a character, which is usually revealed in two ways: direct characterization and indirect characterization. Direct characterization is when a writer makes direct statements about a character's personality and tells the reader what the character is like. Whereas indirect characterization is when a writer reveals information about a character's personality through the latter's words, actions, and thoughts, along with other characters' responses to that character. If we go back to illegal immigration, Chris is clearly a responsible person. The evidence is taking care of her sister. She is also imaginative, and the evidence is fancying the way police crash doors. As for Chris's mom, she is humorous and comical. The evidence is passing black humor jokes. She is also an adaptive person. The evidence is making repairs in the apartment. Whereas Chris's dad is a risk taker, the evidence is taking the risk of living as an illegal immigrant, and he is multi-skilled. The evidence is working as an electrician and making repairs in the apartment. Now revisit the text Illegal Immigration on page 243 to fill in the chart as indicated. As explained earlier, plot elements consist of exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. As we all know, exposition is the introductory material that presents setting, characters, and other facts necessary to understanding the story. It also sets the tone, whereas the rising action is a series of events that builds from the conflict. It begins with the inciting force and ends with the climax. The climax or turning point is the moment of the highest interest and greatest emotion in the story, from which the outcome of the conflict could be predicted. The falling action comes right after the climax. It consists of events that start losing strength until the story ends. And finally, the resolution rounds out and concludes the action. If we go back to illegal immigration, we can see clearly that the exposition is when the mother informs Chris of the presence of three men in suits reading the labels on the mailboxes in front of the building. Rising action: Chris shutting her sister in their bedroom, turning off all the lights and locking the windows. The immigration officers ascending the stairs. Climax: the immigration officers knocking on the door. Falling action: the immigration officers leaving and the family reuniting, whereas the resolution is the family going back to almost normal life. Now read the bar graph carefully and then explain what the changes of percentages across the years reveal about Lebanese immigration and illustrate. Lebanese immigrants are widely dispersed across the world. It is clear that immigration has generally increased over the years except for Brazil. However, the destinations of migration have changed largely in favor of English-speaking countries generally open to migration like the US, Australia, and Canada. While earlier generations migrated to Africa and South America, this trend is strongly reduced. Finally, scan paragraph 8 for one instance of analogy. Explain it and infer why the writer uses it. As a quick revision, an analogy is a form of reasoning, which is a comparison in which two different ideas or things are compared because they share something in common. Here, in paragraph 8, the writer uses a metaphor when she compares each knock on the door to a cold stab through her body. The writer uses this metaphor to show the agony she lived behind the door, expecting the immigration officers to sweep inside and arrest them. Homework: do exercise E, numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 on pages 249 and 250.